It's the only DNR hatchery in the state that raises lake sturgeon.
That's right, and up until now, actually, all the work in Wild Rose was being done away from public view.
On Monday, though, 5 sturgeon were released into a display pond at the hatchery. Fox 11's Eric Peterson tells us how the DNR hopes these new sturgeon can highlight the work that has been going on there for decades.
Leo Zamzo and his grandsons were the first to see.
You guys know what kind of fish those are at all?
I know.
What are they?
They are lake sturgeon.
Very good.
We used to come up here in the 60s and 70s, and the more I start thinking about that, then I could remember that big sturgeon they had in here.
After almost 40 years, lake sturgeon are back in this pond at the Wild Rose Fish Hatchery.
Because of DNR regs, DAT cap regulations, disease purposes, or health concerns, things like that. But since we have the new hatchery renovated now, we're able to put these fish in our display pond.
These sturgeon are 2.5 years old and were raised on site.
This is the new cool water facility.
This $17 million state-of-the-art facility is part of $34 million in renovations at the hatchery.
These are the bigger guys.
30 sturgeon tanks are each filled with more than 1,000 fingerlings.
This guy was spawned this spring and he's running probably about a little over 5 inches.
The sturgeon feed on shrimp, worms, and ocean krill, and in a few months they will be shipped out. It's part of a 15-year effort to restore the fish to inland waters across the state.
These were the Wisconsin River sturgeon, which were spawned below the Wisconsin Dells Dam and will be reintroduced up above the Dells Dam in Stevens Point flowage and up in Merrill area.
We have gone back into these segments of the rivers and actually have been finding fish 15, 18, 20, 24 inches, so we know that the program is a success and these fish are actually surviving and growing in these sections that have been cut off by the dams.
About 30,000 sturgeon will be stocked by the end of the year. Only a couple of underwater ambassadors will stay behind.
I thought there was just a trout hatchery, but I guess they do other fish here too.
Is it kind of neat to see the sturgeon?
Yes.
In Wild Rose, Eric Peterson, Fox 11 News.
The Wild Rose Hatchery was built in 1908. In addition to sturgeon, the facility also raises trout, salmon, and muskies.